What time is it? Your show. Yeah, what time is it? Your show. Yeah, what time is it? Your show. Yeah, he's back from the dead. Your show. Putting it on the map, yeah. Saskatoon. Right next to New York. New York. Yeah, what show, yeah. Your show. What time is it? Your show. Yeah, time to talk some shit, yeah. Your show.
You've tuned in, yeah.
Yeah, fun Maggie. Bark, bark, wolf, wolf, who wants a treat, yeah. Keep listening.
A very happy Tuesday to you, and welcome to your show. As far as we know, the only live show on YouTube, Monday to Friday at the very coveted time of 4 to 5 p.m. when basically everyone's still working. Shout out to the two people watching right now. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. I love you very much. And thank you for supporting this incredible network that we are on here today. Speaking of network, we got some network business to take care of as Margaret looks like she is in the proper place to kick off another amazing edition of the Maggie Cam. Look at that dog. I'm not talking about you, LB. I'm talking about Maggie right there. Beautiful, majestic steed. The Maggie Cam for our good friends over at Pet Planet on 8th Street, your pet's natural grocer, Mike and Rochelle and Maggie's boyfriend, Leroy, always there to make your day better with anything you need for your pet. And so much more, as well as Kirsten, Shar, and Chris. Everybody involved with Pet Planet on 8th Street are there to make your life better. I promise you. So go by, check them out, and say hello, and let them know that you love the Maggie Cam, because this is literally all people watch this show for. And I don't blame them, because she is absolutely majestic. Look at that dog. Can you tell that it's 27 degrees in here? All right, that's enough, Maggie Cam. We're going to get right into our first guest. If you're wondering right now, hey, it's Tuesday. I thought the music boys were going to be in there. We're going to have a party. They are here. They're about to go. But before we unleash that, we have a man. We call him the face that built the place. He's the star. I say that, and I mean it. Because that's mean. I'm not going to say Dragon isn't a star. He's half of a star. With Dragon, together they form a full star that is The Viewing Room, a show about to drop. His name is LB! Yeah!
Hey, there's more people clapping this time.
You're
Last
welcome.
time there wasn't very many people.
We paid them handsomely for that. So
well.
That's coming out of your paycheck, buddy. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. You got something really cool going on here, don't you?
Yeah,
So cool you wrote down notes.
I wrote down notes. I got to remember all these dates.
I love it. Talk to us what's going on.
Yeah, so we got the Coliseum Presents is a local, I don't know what you call them.
Company?
Local company.
Organization?
Yeah, organization.
Aaron's the guy. We love Aaron, who runs this.
He's a really great guy. Awesome to work with so far.
Did you know he's Royal Andy's neighbor?
I think you did tell me that.
I brag about that to everybody.
Yes.
Like, yeah, he's Andy's neighbor. No big deal.
And
Sorry, I
anyway.
derailed ya.
So we're with our new viewing room. We've been teasing it a little bit. That should be dropping in the next couple weeks.
Very excited.
We basically choose a different movie each week, review it, talk about what makes it good, what makes it less than good or bad, in some cases.
Absolutely.
And we provide an overall rating. And so this is a really great opportunity to watch movies that haven't been in theater for quite a while.
Yes.
Because Coliseum Presents, they take old movies. I'm not going to say they're old because they're not old, but they're not new. And they show them at the Roxy Theater and Broadway Theater and other theaters. So you get a theater experience for a movie that you probably haven't seen in the theater, if at all, in 20 years,
It's a very, very good idea. And you have great people involved with it, and we are very, very happy that you and Dragon are getting involved as well, as it's a great way to connect with people as we continue to grow here at the network. And I will say, as the guy who has produced The Viewing Room, you guys, there's a lot of laughs along the way there, too. It's not like we're watching Siskel and Ebert and a couple of jabronis like, this stinks. I guess I wasn't, what was that, The Critic? Remember the TV show The Critic? It stinks. John Lovitz.
Yeah, no, we have a lot of fun along the way.
Yeah, and that's how you stand out, I think. There's a couple of young jabronis out there. Like Forrest Gump was your first one. It was hilarious because Dragon had never seen Forrest Gump. So just the reaction alone from that was wild.
He hadn't seen Mr. and Mrs. Smith either, which was our second one. So
and he's in film school.
Right. I'm like, how have I seen more of these than you? Like, come on.
So that's pretty cool. So what else you got there? I see some more notes.
So we got, the first one is tomorrow, July 10th at 7 p.m. All these showings are at 7 p.m. Okay. So that's Fight Club at the Roxy Theater. So that's going to be really fun. And then classic Happy Gilmore. It'll be July 21st, also at the Roxy at 7.
Happy, over here.
And
Talk about a hole-in-one. Subway.
and then we're gonna jump back a ways and go the Wizard of Oz.
Whoa, what did you
Yeah.
say? That's the 40s?
We
think we
should've
had
looked
this
that up.
conversation.
We had this conversation on the
I think it's
viewing room.
40s. 40s or 30s.
Yeah, something
Yeah,
like that.
long time.
And then, so that's August 9th, also at the Roxy, 7 p.m. And then August 23rd at the Broadway this time, Broadway Theater, also at 7, they're showing Empire Records.
Ah, Empire Records. Now that's a name I haven't heard in years. It's a great movie. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I have not. I have seen, of these, I've seen
Dude.
Happy Gilmore and The Wizard of Oz. I haven't seen either of the other
One
two.
of the hottest women alive. Her dad's the Aerosmith guy.
I wouldn't say Dorothy
She was,
was the hottest woman.
No. Aerosmith guy's daughter. She was in the Armageddons. What's that? Liv Tyler's in
Liv
that
Tyler,
movie.
yeah.
Woo!
She was in Lord of the Rings. That's my
Is it
favorite
hot in
thing.
here or is it just me?
That's my
Oh, no, wait, it
favorite
is
thing that I've
27,
seen Liv
yeah.
Tyler in his Lord of the Rings. She does such a good job as Arwen. But anyway.
Yeah. I also think she did a great. I don't remember any words.
Well, it's
But
all
she's
in
a great
Elvish.
actress. Yeah.
It's all in Elvish.
That's true. Can you speak Elvish?
I can't. No,
I wonder if Network Ryan could speak Elvish. I bet he could.
I feel
He's
like
such a
probably not.
linguist that I feel like he's studied the art of speaking Elvish.
That is one cool thing, is that like Tolkien completely created languages
language,
because
yeah.
he was a language professor.
That's probably
and
what
so he
Network Ryan's like
created
that,
his
yeah.
whole own language. It's
That's
very
very cool.
interesting when you read about it.
All right, buddy. I know you got to get rolling.
Yes,
so
I got to
anything
go
else you
rolling.
want to throw out there? That's
everything.
good.
Oh, and
Tomorrow-
also one more note: check their Facebook and Instagram. They have giveaways for tickets occasionally, and you can go to their website coliseumpresents.ca to get tickets, or you can get them at the door.
Do you want to put that out on our network stuff too? Is that something you can do?
Yes, I can do that.
Well, you don't have to. Like I don't know.
No, I can, and I
Okay.
will.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just feel like that's
Cool.
you're usually on this stuff. All right, love you, buddy. Get the
See ya.
hell out of here. You're great. LB, give it up for LB.
As I take the TV up,
One day it's gonna fall right off.
it's going to.
Yeah, it's been knocked around. That's holding up pretty good, actually. I'm quite impressed. Right on, buddy. Thank you again for that. All right, Tuesdays, we record a little show around here before the show called the All Out Angst Podcast, which will be dropping this Thursday. And it's very exciting if you're into music and old guys talking about not just punk rock music as a whole, but it started out as a punk rock passion project, but I think it's growing already as we continue to do all this cool stuff. So without further ado, we will call the boys up to the stage now. It's Uncle Mike and Matt from all the bands. Yeah!
Yeah!
Woo!
All right.
Dude!
How's that for some walk-up music?
And how about walking? I didn't even tell Phenom. Sorry, Phenom, you're probably playing Paperboy. We're doing the old walk-up thing. It's like a double walk-up.
That's all right.
Well, we've never had the ability to have a guitar up here before,
I know.
right? Like, how badass is that?
Yeah, well, it was just I saw Wayne's World, and then it clicked. Well, I didn't see Wayne's World, but I thought of it.
I think we all see and think of Wayne's World every day. I literally every day I quote it in some sort of way.
Yep, that and Happy Gilmore.
Man, did you ever nail that? Hey, we didn't practice that either, by the way. I just threw it out there, and he knew that I wanted a foot long driven into my mouth from 400 yards away.
Oh,
Sorry, I had to get a sip in there. Oh, it's been a week.
yeah, it has been.
We're back. We made some progress today. I feel like we made quite a bit of progress on the old All Out Angst
Yeah,
podcast.
like all of these things, I never know what's gonna be happening on Tuesday. But
And-
I did call or texted you at 12. I was like, "What's the game plan for today?" And you're
Yeah.
like, "Are you bringing your guitar by?" So
Yeah.
I think that was we kind of planned.
That's a huge plan, and it worked out incredibly well because when you're trying, so the basis of the All Out Angst podcast is it's three dudes who love each other, who have connected through music and friendship, and that's how it started. Then it turned into, hey, I think we should try to write a song while on the show, and then that sort of gives the show a vision of sorts. And then as we've grown around the song, it's sort of turned this whole thing into, like this last episode was basically a how to write a song, right? Which is
that
pretty
was-
darn cool.
That was cool. Again, I was like, I don't know if I'm getting too dorky with this, but I was like,
The
"Well,
perfect
this
amount."
Is the verse, and pre-choruses tend to have ascending.
I felt like I was at rock camp or School of Rock or
Yeah.
something, you know? Like,
And the best part of the whole thing is we said, yeah, let's just write some lyrics and see what we can do. And then Uncle Mike was the only one who wrote lyrics.
it
And they were
was
very
loose
good.
writing of
Yeah,
lyrics.
but it's just, I feel like we're at the stage now where it's just figuring out the structure and placing things where you want to be.
Yeah.
Like we have spots for harmonies now, we have spots for verses. We even got some cool little oohs and ahs in there, which
And-
I always love.
And the beauty is punk rock, so it's not even
Right.
2 minutes. Like,
Yeah.
I
So
like to
easy.
keep it under 2 minutes.
And that's the difference that I've noticed as a whole in music is for so long, punk rock always stayed that way. Punk rock always had your 1.5, 2 minute songs.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
you get
Bangers.
25 songs and be like 38 minutes on a CD.
Yep.
Which is incredible. And that's what we love. And then everything else, like just off the top of my head, like grunge. Like when's the last time you heard a really short grunge song? Like there's so much angst in all of those songs, and there's so much like like the short, like you don't get
Yeah.
very many. Like of course there's still short songs, but you don't get very many.
A big part of it is the slower tempos in grunge. Like to go through like our
Perfectly
verse in
said.
our song or whatever.
Yeah.
You can go through it a couple times and it's 10 seconds because it's a faster tempo. But with those down tempos,
Yeah.
and to make it through a verse or whatever, it can be.
There's a lot
yeah.
more into it.
Everything slowed down.
And like
a little bit.
pop music and like all this stuff that's out there. Nothing. It literally feels to me like nothing wants to be below 4 minutes.
Yeah.
And like as a guy who worked at a radio station, I can tell you, not a lot of songs go under 4 minutes. Like
Yeah.
it's like 3.5 is probably the shortest you're going to get for most songs that you hear on the radio. So to come in with something that's short and to the like punchy and to the beat, and it's like it's just so cool. It's everything we want.
Yeah, well, there's some bands like metal band Exodus. In their earlier stuff, it's like bangers, and again, it's like 4-minute songs, just right to the point. And then their later years, they've kind of the songwriting has been a case where it'll be like there's got to be 3 verses, 3 pre-choruses, 3 exact choruses, and they're all doubled and they're all long, and it's like every song 7 minutes, and it's good, but I do find myself after like one song, I'm kind of like I'm good.
Yeah.
And you don't ever want to like become so formulaic.
Yeah.
Is that the word?
And
Like,
that was another reason with this song where I was just like, I don't know, they could be verses or
Yeah,
choruses,
whatever
and
we want.
there's only like one of this or what, but like, why does it need to be, your chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, loop,
and that-
bridge, done.
I think I said that during the show too. Was I love that we're not putting anything into a box. We're not saying
Right.
this has to be the structure, this has to be this has to be that. And I love because that's what this whole network is like. Like I praise everyone here any chance I can get because there is no one here saying you have to do this. Like no one gets in trouble for trying anything here. And it allows for the ability to try stuff because there's no shame in doing
it's
it.
a true safe space.
Exactly, and it feels so special because they don't exist anymore.
And
They
that's
just
usually
don't.
where the best things come from, right? When you're
Exactly.
not,
Yeah.
you
You
don't
have
have to put it in a box. You don't have to follow certain rules.
You have to be different to stand out.
Yeah.
That's what this show is. That's what this network is. That's what we do every day here. And the fun part for me is seeing this grow because for so long we've been told you have to do this. You have to do it this way. If you don't, you will not be successful. Guess what? We're pretty successful here already. It's so cool. And all we've done is just be ourselves and do what we want to do without anyone saying we have to do it. Like when somebody says you have to tell people to like your stuff and to subscribe. No, you don't.
Oh,
I say it all the time. You
people
don't have to
hate-
do anything. We will never tell
Yeah.
you to do anything, ever. It's not what we do. If you want to join the party, you want to come on board and we can go hang out, sure, that's fine. But we will never say to you, hey, don't forget, or hey, you should. I hate that stuff.
I know. And that's usually when I make an effort not to.
Exactly.
Right? It's
Yeah.
like,
Yes,
hey, don't
thank
tell
you.
me what to do. I
Again,
don't
with
care
the
what it
spite.
is. Don't tell me
It's
what to
like,
do.
You're
Yeah.
gonna make me do something.
There's-
I'm gonna spite, not even though I enjoy it.
Yeah, I hate
Yeah.
you for making me say that I enjoy what you're doing, but I'm so happy to never watch your garbage again because you're telling me to do stuff. If I want to do it, I'm going to do it. And that's what this whole thing has been built on. And by the way, I noticed your shirt before. I know you've been waiting for me. I think this is a great time to talk about the Oswald's Walking Connection shirt that you're wearing right now.
It's just there's no one that's stupid. Like, hello.
Well, we'll just stand beside Maggie.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty fun. But that band right there, like the album, I don't remember that. It's the album that everyone had back in the
Yeah,
day.
honestly, I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah.
They
We
were
don't know albums
they
or
were
names.
the punk rock staple for You know, they were actually doing it. They were touring with bands.
I want you
know.
to tell me about OWC, because growing up, we all heard the rumors that, you know, they're a local band, like they're from like PA or
Yeah.
they're from Saskatoon, and we heard all this stuff. And then as rumors go in high school, they'd all become convoluted and be like, oh man, I don't know what to believe
Wait a
anymore.
second.
So what's the story with OWC?
I don't really have tons for you. Like I buddies with Gary Mason that he played in the band.
Okay,
So
yeah.
that maybe that could be a case where he could even come on and
I would
talk
love
about,
that.
There you
talk
go.
about-
Get the lowdown.
Yes.
I think he could really tell you more about it. I just know when I was coming into the punk rock scene, there was them and Junto. Junto was my favorite band at the time,
Yeah.
but it was kind of all that scene. And there was that House on 6th, which
Yeah.
was the punk scene where all the bands jammed. There was tons of jam rooms, you know, and just everyone lived there. $75 rent, you know, a month.
Oh,
type
those
of
were the
stuff.
days,
Yeah,
eh?
it was beautiful, but just they were the first band that really showed us, hey, you know, you can do this and you can play with, you know, the bands that you look up to, and
Yeah.
it's attainable to do
Like
that.
there was a good long chunk of my life where my top 3 albums of all time, were Punk and Drublic by No Effects, Oswald's Walking Connection, I think it was like a best of album.
Okay, cool.
And there's like 30 some songs on them, and I don't know the names of any, but I can sing them all word for word. I have the album somewhere inside. And How to Clean Everything, Propaganda.
Sweet, yeah.
Those are my top 3. They were right there in that from one album. That's all I had. Never seen them live.
So
Never
you
got to
never saw
experience
them live?
anything. Nothing. Just that one album, like the Jock song. Here's a song about a jock. You know, those guys are all the same. I'm not gonna sing the rest because it gets a little saucy, but you know, like that whole album, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to sing it all and listen to it all now. But the fact that is a local band, like, can we call them local?
I would call
Can
them
we?
low. Like they're probably would it be PA would be like
I think it's like PA and surrounding areas or something like that.
yeah, but I always saw them as a Saskatoon band.
Let's get in touch with somebody. I would love to know
I
the story about
personally know
WC.
Gary, so that would be a guy that we could get for sure.
This Gary would love to know more
Yeah.
about that Gary.
Double down on the Garys.
Maybe it might be too much. Space-time continuum, look out. You know? Time travel, we doing that yet?
But yeah, and another thing about this Gary, similar to you, just the nicest dude. Like
It comes with the name, I
'cause
think.
Aaron is friends with his partner Fiorella, and for the longest time, Aaron would say to Fee, I gotta find myself my Gary, you know, or whatever, because like just a nice guy or whatever.
Are you Aaron's Gary?
I'm Aaron's Gary.
Get out
Yeah.
of here.
Yeah.
Love you, LB. LB again, everybody. Woo. Wow. That's so cool. So, does she ever call you Gary?
No, but this story's brought up quite often, you know.
And the impact is there.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the gist of it is he's a nice guy.
Welcome to the Gary
that's-
Club.
Yeah.
I welcome you with open arms. 1R. 1R?
I
Do we
believe
know?
it's 1R.
Okay. You don't run into too many 2R Garys.
You don't.
And that's always thrown me off
It's
a
not
little
like
bit.
the EAR. Geary spelling.
Geary?
Oh my God, is it?
Geary?
It's a little funky. I don't
Yeah,
know.
great name for a
Yeah,
Yeah, there's
mechanic.
some interesting spellings. And
That
names
is a
out there, I
mechanic's
tell ya.
name for sure.
Yeah.
Because you're working on all the gears.
I expect to see it on a patch on coveralls.
Hi, I'm
That's-
Geary. All right. That could be some good
Oh,
merching.
Geary.
Good old merching. Man, I got a lot of ideas there. I want to get into the merch stuff. I feel like the merch stuff is our next sort of
Yeah,
step around here.
it's fun.
It's now that we got logos too. Like I feel like we can make some sick shirts.
When I saw that All Out of Angst logo, immediately I'm like hats for sure. You
Dude.
got to have it on a shirt, a T-shirt.
Crothers
Yeah.
killed it.
Yeah.
Killed it.
Then I don't know, maybe even get it on some sweatpants. Like,
Now we're
Oh,
cooking.
there you go.
Oh, it's funny we talk about sweatpants when it's 27 degrees in here.
man, it feels
Oh.
much hotter. Than
All
that.
pants are sweatpants today.
We,
folks.
we did bring a lot of cool props for the show today, I believe. Do we want to get into any props right now, or do we want to talk a little bit more about our music project? What do you guys want to do? What are you feeling right now? Besides sweaty. Besides real sweaty.
I think
You're-
these
you're-
pants need to at least
Get
be.
into 'em?
All right, so here's the deal. Uncle Mike had talked about pants. Now, was it on the show or was it on the podcast? You know?
I don't remember. It might have
I
been
don't-
both,
Yeah,
actually.
they mix. I guess that's sort of what we do is we carry it over into
Yeah.
the show. So we were talking about pants and pants with holes in them and pants that breathe. And Uncle Mike started bragging about the perfect pants that he owns. These pants have ventilation in all the right areas and we asked him to bring these pants in. And he did not let us down. He did not disappoint. He has the pants. So we are going to show these now. Phenom, we got Phenom on the 1 2s, by the way. Let us see a world record holder in there on speedrun.com as well. Very proud of him. Let's go ahead and hit up camera 2 here, and let's have a look at these. Let's walk us through these, Uncle Mike. Let us know what we're looking at here.
So these are highly customized pants.
Years of design and work have gone into these.
So they did start out as a popular brand name. They have since evolved. No, they're
Levi's.
Levi's.
Levi's. There's something on the patch there too. What's it say on the patch?
Oh, I don't know. Signature.
Ah.
They're definitely signature now.
So
they were my like bush pant, mangled pants,
I bet
party
you've been.
pants.
I hope you've been doing some painting in them.
There's been some painting.
Okay,
there's been
thank
some
goodness.
caulking. There's been some
yeah, questionable stainage.
multiple things. So
Wow.
yeah, I think it started out with some holes in the knees, and then it worked to a hole in the crotch, and then that crotch hole migrated to the rear.
Look at
So
that.
you have full. That's full crotch.
But that
Uncle Mike's crotch cam.
that inner
Ventilation
seam just
right there.
doesn't want to give
That's
up.
the
It's
strongest
old and
seam.
strong right
Honest, there is
That's-
plenty of meat left on that bone.
I mean, that's a whale tail if I've ever seen one. I don't know.
Do people still don't say whale tail anymore? I remember that was the funniest saying
I
back in the
don't
day.
know.
Whenever
I
you saw
don't
someone
think-
wearing a thong, it's
Yeah,
a whale tail.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like a whale tail.
I've never been a thong wearer except for these pants.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of.
These sort of make me want to get into
that's-
thong wearing.
That's the crotch there.
That's amazing.
How
How many
somehow they
stories do you think these pants could tell?
Too many.
Too
Too many.
many,
Some
eh?
of them I wouldn't want to share.
No
Probably.
kidding. Well, they look like my.
But yeah.
You know what? When I look at these pants, I feel like that's how my body feels on the inside. Hey,
Yeah.
that's
I
like a
agree.
great visual for my body.
But so you still have leg protection, right? And that's important to me
Yeah.
when you're working outside or running.
Absolutely.
And how are the pockets? Like
Great question. Great
Pockets
question.
are pretty good.
They still hold
Because
it?
that
Still hold.
that-
There's no holes in the pockets, surprisingly.
That really grinds my gears when you put something in your pocket. There's a little hole,
It
and
go
then
right
you
through.
end
It
up
falls
losing-
right through.
Yeah.
This is always the trick. The pocket seam has blown out, so you go sometimes to put something in your pocket, but then it,
Oh yeah.
it falls
yeah.
right through there. But the actual pocket is still intact.
I'm so happy you brought these today.
Well,
Yeah,
I
I-
thought I talked him up.
Oh,
I
they're
wanted to show you
amazing.
how you don't necessarily have to wear shorts in the summer as long as you got crotchless pants.
How hard is it for you to not chop those and just Daisy Duke them?
Well, that's the kind of constant battle. It's like, do I turn them into shorts?
They'd be great shorts.
They would, but
like you say, you need that leg coverage.
I sometimes want the leg coverage.
When
you know?
Uncle Mike is roaming around in the garden, working,
Yep.
putting his all-natural products together, you don't want to get any buggies or any stingers on you
Yeah.
when you're roaming.
So that's
Yeah.
the pants. I said I'd bring them.
Great
are
custom airflow.
great.
Too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, look at
That's
that.
fantastic.
Man, how many times do you think they've been washed?
Versus how many they've been worn.
not as many as you
Look
would
at the
think.
ratio.
Actually, it's I'd say a low ratio on the washing.
Yeah.
Because you wash them too much, it's gonna.
Well,
it's
yeah,
gonna.
that's
you
my
know,
next
I can see
question.
that there's some black in them.
Yeah.
You wash them all the time; those are going to be gray.
Yeah, there's black, there's blue,
Slightly
there's
blue
white,
almost.
there's I got chalk on here. Yeah, caulking,
Man, I
paint,
just can't get over this.
glue,
How old?
a little bit of
Do we get an
everything.
age on these bad boys?
Like maybe 3 or 4 years.
Whoa.
Like they're
What?
they're not that old.
I would
I mean,
assume that's like 15 to 20.
I mean
years old.
maybe
3 or 4 years.
because what happened? Like I said, like I blow through the crotch in pants, and so they started out as like my black pants, right? And then crotch rips out. Can't really wear them out as much. So then they're a work pant. But maybe 5 years. Probably not as long as you would think,
Maybe
But,
kind of a little peek.
yeah.
Let's want to take a look at these here. Like,
4 years old.
I think
Maybe
these,
I mean that's
if you were to cut these off, like right here,
Ooh.
I think that would be the perfect short.
those are some serious Daisy Dukes.
Cross those
then.
lines,
That's
and then guess what? You're
Yeah,
ready
like
to
half
party.
the work's done for you there.
oh yeah. There's not much. I mean, all it takes is wearing them for another day probably, and it'll just happen naturally.
I
But
also
again-
like the idea of the Uncle Mike's pants can.
There you go.
Hey, welcome to the show. It smells clean in here. I like that. You definitely washed them. You ain't lying.
I maybe washed them.
Those are the
I don't know.
holiest
There's
pants
still
I've ever
screws in the
seen.
pocket, so they haven't been washed in a
Touche.
while. Screws in,
Oh, look at
nails.
this. Hello and welcome. We got
Oh.
waters. That's awesome. We're good.
Oh my gosh.
Look at this.
Look at
Hell
that
yeah.
delivery.
Ew.
Thank you.
Do you know what we're going to talk
Wow.
about now? Now that you're here. Dude, Aaron, your voice, girl, you just crushed that song. The new song is out. New Raven
Oh, yeah.
Witch. Let's get into
Yeah.
that.
So
Tell me all about it.
this is New Raven Witch, Bringer of the Storms is the name.
Such a metal
yeah,
song.
it is.
Ugh.
Was Knowles wrote the main riff for it, so it's a Knowles.
Hi,
You know,
Noel.
and
Wherever you are.
we were thinking like kind of going for an Ozzy Osbourne feel. Like Noel actually wanted it to be called Ozzy Goes to Egypt. Like that. That was kind of like.
I definitely got the Egyptianiness of it. That
that
that's
was like
so
a deal
cool.
breaker for him. But unfortunately, Aaron writes the lyrics, and it just it was tough to call it Ozzy Goes to Egypt.
But
yeah,
I
so-
love that idea.
So we had the drums and Noel's guitar recorded for a little bit of time here, just because Noel's been gone for almost a year now.
I miss him so much.
But in the last few days, Meatball came over because he's actually taking care of his taking care of his dad right now. But so he's in Humboldt.
Okay.
But he came in for the day and banged out a bunch of bass tracks or whatever. And Erin did her vocals. What was it? Last week, 2 weeks ago, or whatever. So yeah, I kind of edited all that stuff, and sent it off to JB, and he's been doing a bunch of stuff for us. And he's like, "Hey, do you want me to get on that? I know I've been billing you guys lots because we've been making." I was like, "Man, I just got paid today, please!" Like, and then so
Spend it.
Yeah, please. And so then I was expecting, I'm at work, like doing loads of, at the dump, dropping garbage off at the top of the pile. And I'm like, man, he told me he was working on it today. Like he said it's not going to take long. And then all night, like me and Aaron are like, we're manifesting. It's going to happen. We're going to get it today.
Love
and then at like,
manifestation.
probably like 9 o'clock at night, we're like, doesn't look like it's going to be a thing. And we're kind of like, And then Aaron messages JB or whatever. I forget what you said, like, how's the song going? He had sent it in the morning. He had it all queued up, but just didn't press send. So yeah, we ended up getting it,
classic.
at the end of the night,
Dude,
and heard it
amazing.
and just did our classic thing where we pour, ourselves a drink and play it on the stereo and kind of get the goosebumps together. And then,
love that.
yeah, we're just like, man, it's like once it's a studio album, like our song's going to be, it like becomes that
Right.
real
A
thing.
thing,
And
yeah.
it's just, awesome. And then, Aaron started doing all the stuff, getting her on the Spotifys and the YouTubers. And
Hometown Rock. I gotta get on the radio. We'll talk to-
she did submit it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll talk to Ugly Kid Joel,
Oh,
who runs
sweet.
it, and we'll just
Yeah,
bump
that'd
it to
be
the top
awesome.
because he's our guy. And this song deserves to be up there because, like, I'm sorry, it bangs.
Oh, it's
Like,
great.
it goes.
And
dude.
it's cool too because a lot of our other stuff, we've got where we double Aaron's vocals, and then I might be doing a harmony, and I double my vocals, so it can be like 4 vocals at a time. This is one vocal take, no harmonies, no nothing, just one vocal take, no bells and whistles, and it sounds so good.
Less is more
And
situation.
normally we double track the guitars. I didn't do that this time. And I find the bass pops more. So I feel like, again, with just all this like punk rebirth of loving that, I'm stripping some stuff down, and it's kind of fun, and and it sounds great. Like
That's the biggest takeaway is that you, and just by what you described, you took out lots of stuff that you normally put in, and it created this this monster. It's like a beast of like doom, like and it's like the second I started listening to it, I was like, this is incredible.
a real
and it
cool
sounds
yeah.
so big.
The chorus, the bringer of the storm.
Yeah.
JB, he's like, hey, do you mind if I came up with like a little string line or whatever to thicken up that chorus? And I was like, oh, please, that
Yes.
sounds great, because I agreed. It seemed like it just needed a little something to thicken it up or whatever. And yeah, he made that key bass line just like basically just like MIDI kind of programming it or whatever.
I was going to ask
yeah.
what do you say is string line?
Yeah,
String line?
so it's like
string line.
like strings,
A string line.
Yeah.
Got you. Yeah.
But yeah, it just really thickens it up, and now, like, if you're listening, you can hear it too. But again, that goes to that Ozzy Osbourne, where Ozzy always had strings and stuff, thickening things up. So, just we always like kind of referencing something or paying homage to something, and then putting in those things in the song to make it that way.
It definitely has that, like you said, the Ozzy Goes to Egypt, that Egyptian sort of
Yeah.
flow to it. which I noticed right away. I was like, okay, this is something I can get into. Do you want to play some riffs on it? You want to riff a little bit?
I haven't
Or
played
is that too
song
much
in
to
a long
ask?
time.
No, is
Yeah,
it too much?
That's probably.
Okay, I won't put you on the spot with that. Do you want to rip any guitar at all? I feel like we haven't even
Like,
used
I
our
guess I could-
guitar
I
setup.
guess I could get-
Where's the other prop? Bust it out.
Oh yeah, we used prop time.
Well, no, I've got a prop for the ends that I'm.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that's
right.
We
Yeah.
didn't
yeah.
know that.
Well, the
Yeah.
guitar, I guess, is a prop
Classic.
as well in my
Cool.
realm of.
So if you're
proppage.
watching at home, we did the 4th episode with this setup. And it's so cool to have the ability to do something like this. You know what else this does too? This gets us closer to like getting actual bands performing in here.
Exactly. It's like, you know,
We're figuring it out.
It looks good on here. Come on.
It's like, why would you not want to?
Yeah,
You know?
so-
And it sounds good as far as I can tell. We haven't really listened to the playback
Yeah,
yet, but
I imagine it
we got
probably
the-
won't hear any of it. But
well, no, it's coming through. I know it's coming through. I saw the editing stuff in there, so there's definitely coming through.
Sweet. Yeah, that's
And it's
good.
gonna sound really cool, but I don't know where to go when you have a guitar, right?
Right.
Like,
Like, well,
it adds a whole nother aspect to the show.
I mean, are you taking requests? Are you, are we karaoke?
No, I was just trying to get you to start talking rhythmically
I
by,
got you.
by putting a backing track
We
to
can do
whatever
that.
you say.
Okay, all right. We'll do it with my reading the hospital activity book. How about
You got that?
Yeah.
Okay, let's
Okay,
do it.
Let's go ahead.
Is that the new one?
Let's see. Ooh. Okay. Guess I should have looked at this before.
Yeah,
Okay.
more
Oh,
of an
Heroes
activity
for
book
Caves.
than a reading book, I guess, eh?
Yeah, you know what? We'll switch books. Keep going. Keep going. We got this. We're gonna read a chapter. It's gonna be on tomorrow. His name's Adrian Belarzon. There he is. Teams that swear by each other, not about each other. All right, let's go. Part called the C word. There we go. That's it. Yeah. I have resisted using the C word so far. However, I will give in. Culture. Culture is made of many components. The more I delve into what culture is, talk to people about it, and try to come up with a definition of it, the more confused I get. There are so many approaches to what culture is. One thing I will say though, a company's culture is often driven by the behavior of its people. And whilst it usually starts at the top, behaviors within teams themselves can be the difference between a team that is shining and a team that is self-serving.
I like this.
I would
That's a
listen to that
paragraph
ebook,
from Teams
I
That
think,
Swear.
with some
do
backing
have-
guitar
yes.
and
LB did hook up the recording booth today.
Nice.
So we have the monitors working in there now, so we can blast music inside the tooth booth. Shout out to Dr. Hausman and Associates, Dr. Funkhauser, over at the Big Tooth. And we have the actual microphone, the expensive fancy microphone, all set
I
up in
saw
there.
it,
And we
uh,
have the noise, the panels are all in. It's really becoming
Yeah.
a thing.
It's like with
I
your-
snuck a peek.
I can literally bring my my laptop, and we can record like our vocals in that.
Right
booth.
in there.
Yeah, it's perfect.
That's what we want.
Ah, man.
That is all we want. As we continue on your show on a Tuesday, we have Uncle Mike in the house and his all natural products. We have Matt from all the bands. In case you're wondering what that is called that I just did, here's a little curtain jerk for you guys, a little behind the scenes thing. In the news talk world, when you're doing interviews, they always say every like 4 to 5 minutes, make sure you reset. So that's called a reset to let
Ah.
everyone know who you're talking to, who they are, what they're here, what they're talking about. So let's say, hey, halfway through the show, like I just said, Uncle Mike, All Natural Products, along with Matt from all the bands, because it is Tuesday, and this is what we do. And then people know who you guys are in case they're just turning it
Right.
on now.
I
in case
feel
you have
like
some
I'm learning
latecomers
so
there.
much.
I know.
We've- This is slowly becoming
Educational hour here.
educational,
I like
not
it.
just this show, but like this whole place. Like, I've learned so much in here, and it just blows my mind that we can be the age we are and still be learning so much. You know?
That's the way to do it. Always
Totally.
learning.
Yeah.
Well, and the cool thing, I think that as I get older, like I really enjoy learning now.
Yeah,
whereas,
that's
and maybe
so
you know,
true.
in school it's different. You're forced to read this, you're forced to do that, whatever. But like learning or gaining knowledge never really interested me, and I've always been a very practical learner. So when I'm doing whatever, either it's doing the irrigation or I'm doing whatever it is, it's like I want to learn. I want to research the thing and then go apply that research or what I've learned to the practical thing. And then you tie those two together and it's like, okay, shit, now it makes actual sense because you've got that basis. And yeah, education's cool, kids.
Yeah, I think
Stay in school.
I was just so hyperactive as a kid. Like,
Yeah.
I liked learning, but that was specifically like, okay, I can do a kickflip. How do I do a 360 flip? And then, you know, I would really like, if I knew someone that knew how to do a 360 flip, you know, you'd ask them all the questions, you know, like, where do you have your feet, this or that? But I just didn't have that passion. Like, I just was a middle of the road guy. Just, you know, liked getting, you know, 70% is kind of, you know.
Varial flip, that's where I ended. I couldn't, I mean, so
I couldn't do any tricks on the skateboard.
I knocked
Nothing.
my tooth out doing a 360 flip, so it was perfect. And then my back foot came down, shot the board up, knocked my tooth out. I ended up putting it back in. We went to the dentist.
Mom and Dad, I'm fine, I swear.
No, it was good for like, I'm going to say 6 months. Like they were
Hold on a second. It actually went back in?
Yes, and it was like, it wasn't even like losing color. For
It
like,
was
and,
taking? The
yes,
roots were okay?
And like they were going to
Slowly
like do like a
rotting.
medical journal and stuff or whatever.
kidding.
And then either way, like we take family Christmas photos every year.
Yeah.
And like after that year, we started looking at my tooth, and you could see it was
Slowly
like
dying.
that's the first year, and then it's like gray, and then it's black, and it's like, yeah, I probably need to get a fake tooth. You know?
Oh, that's so funny. It's like one of those tooth like Lent calendars
Yeah.
or whatever it is, eh? Or those Christmas calendars.
It's like, here we see the
man.
degradation of the enamel.
Yeah, that's
and,
fun. You know, you talk about how learning is cool now. I did a big rant on Friday about how I've been watching lots of, you know, interviewers on YouTube, like the Joe Rogans and all those guys, and how they do their shows and trying to take notes and trying to
going to
better
school.
myself. Yeah. And I said, like, I don't know what made me do it except for the fact that I know I'm on this YouTube thing now, so I should watch it. So I'm starting to watch it and see what people do on it. And I've just learned so much about the art of conversation and how to carry a conversation and when to talk and when to not talk and when to let conversations breathe. And it's to the point now where I'm watching it and I can see when it's happening and what these guys are doing. And then it's like, in the back of my head, I'm saying, man, you got to be careful. You're learning stuff right now. Like, you slow it down.
Well,
you don't want to be learning everything. You be like some kind of nerd. But it's like nerds are cool now, so I guess it's okay.
I can see that, like, that you've got that skill as far as, like, it's tough, you know, if someone isn't saying anything and then there's the dead space, you kind of feel obligated to get a conversation going. But then there's the other side where, like, I find I can be this way. Aaron would tell you, like, sometimes I talk too much, and then, you know, it's, like, hard to, like, it's like, all right, this guy's monopolizing, and it's kind of boring. So it's like, but yeah, like, how do you deal with that? And, you know,
It's just like anything else. It's an art form, right? Like you playing guitar, or you building all your concoctions. Everyone has sort of that niche little thing that you try to do to create and make people happy. And it's just neat to know, because I think we can all agree, more than anything else, reps are the most important thing that you can do. Like the fact we've done, I think it's our 65th live episode of 1 hour of content. Like, that's insane to be, I guess it's about 3 months now. Like 3 months and to have that much, I guess, content created. And we were joking about for episode 100, the boys wanted to go and look back at the older ones. And I said, no chance in hell, dude. I'm not watching. Like, that first month and a half, almost 2 months was garbage. It was just garbage because we were finding our legs and figuring out what works and figuring out what doesn't, how to operate, what we want to do, what we want to be about, what our identity is. And it takes about, so that would have been a good 20 to 30 reps, give or take, before you finally start to figure out what it's supposed to feel like. And now we sit here, we got a guy with a guitar on stage, we got a damn set that's 27 degrees, we're sweating through our pants, and you even brought a pair of pants that we talked about that has no crotch at all.
And they're kind of stealing the show. Like, even now, I'm like, what are the pants up to? Like,
Like to
Then
make
you
another
pull out
appearance?
gold like that. What are the pants doing? Can you give us one story from the pants? One story
like-
that happened
like
to you
a
while wearing
show
those?
or I
Oh
need to
my
know
gosh.
more.
Yeah.
I mean,
want to know.
the problem is I had a pretty blasé wardrobe. So, I mean, I would get a new pair of black jeans.
Hold on a second. Your wardrobe's blasé?
Yeah, but you've got some.
Seen
You've
what I
got
wear
some
every
panache.
day.
You've
I
got
guess so.
some,
You're right. Blasé would mean boring.
Right. Yes.
It's not
Yeah.
boring what I wear. It's just totally outrageous.
And like
I
mean,
wear the stupidest shit.
I'm often teased by my kids that it's like, oh, you're wearing your
Little
black
plain
pants
out
again?
the
You're
way.
like, oh, you're gonna go out for dinner? Are you gonna wear a black shirt today, Dad? It's like, yep, because that's what's in my closet.
Hell yeah.
So it's like I said, at some point, like the black pants, the black jeans have just been a thing. I mean, I think I was probably working on the house, and like I said, the crotch hole was a small hole, and then I, doing a lot of bending down. You're kind of in awkward places.
Do you ever hear any of the big tears in there?
Oh yes, yeah. That's where really this is going. That
Okay, good.
it went from like a pair of wearable pants to just a full opening crotch air conditioned pair of pants.
Majestic.
Yeah, it was a beautiful time.
I will
And then at that point, it's like, Amanda's like, well, now you got to get rid of them. It's like, no, now they're even more perfect.
Yeah.
Do you know this shirt was almost gotten rid of a couple times? I had to fight for this shirt. Half the time I'm doing my Christina Aguilera nipple slips.
Yep.
And the
Yeah,
other half is
that one
falling out.
kills me.
It's got some.
Yeah, I hate
And
those.
you see the back?
Oh yeah.
See that?
Yep.
Like it's coming loose.
And I'm thinking that some of that could be like washer and dryer where those little holes. I feel like
Yeah.
before I get those.
They're getting into it. And I love this shirt. From Aquaman, my bro-in-law D-Rock, and my sister got me this for Christmas like 5 or 6 years ago. And I love this shirt so much that I just wore it into this.
See 5 or 6. See what 5 or 6 years
You're
can
right.
do to. a
I'm
piece of
literally
clothing,
eating my own words. Yeah.
It's not doesn't
Like,
seem like a
how
long
old
time.
is this shirt, Aaron?
But in,
like this gotta be 20 years. Yeah. Yeah.
Touche. I love that shirt. Though. Did you miss us talking about OWC? Yeah. Oh, apparently we're gonna set up a Gary and Gary interview because I want to know so much more of my favorite bands. Then you reset again. As we continue on your show here on a Tuesday, that means that Matt from All the Bands and Uncle Mike is here, hanging out and doing our thing. I guess we could sort of call this the post All Out of Angst podcast party.
Yeah.
Because we sort of carry over the flow from the show that we did there into this one, which is kind of fun. And that's why we have the guitar set up, because you were riffing, and it was a lot of fun. Do you maybe want to rip the song?
Yeah. Should I just?
Is that okay? I don't. And this is why I love this live environment, because we can do anything we want, and there's no one to say, "Hey, you can't do that. That's not polished. That's not professional." Yeah, we know we're not polished. We're not professional. We're human beings, and this is how human beings operate. So we're gonna try it.
Do some humming.
We can hum and haw on it, yeah. We can do a lot of fun as we because I don't think we've actually played the song on the show yet, hey?
No, we haven't. That's something. We
So this would be
probably
really
should
cool,
do.
because we got a couple
Yeah.
minutes left in the show today. I feel like it'd be really fun just to get it into people's ears as sort of an earworm, and we can just hum and haw. We don't need to do any lyrics yet, although Uncle Mike had a great opener talking about how we are old.
It's easy
It's
when you
working.
just speak the truth. That's how you really-
Spoken word. Does anyone do spoken word songs anymore? Albums?
No,
Like
but I
William
had
Shatner?
like at one point I had a little notebook, and I never did anything with it except write stuff down. And it wasn't lyrics to a song, but it was essentially going to be my spoken word.
That's amazing.
Never made it anywhere. But I still got the
Not
book,
yet.
so
Not
maybe
yet.
it will now become lyrics. Exactly.
We have a whole book full of them. So here you go. Just enjoy this tasty little nugget. I haven't been able to watch him actually play it before. Oh, it's so cool. I like the switching too. We got some switching going. So it's like, look at that, it's like a music video. That's what we do, okay? It just creates solid gold. So good. There's lots of oohs and ahs. It's very, very fun.
See if I remember this.
The harmonies.
No,
I'm gonna clap for that right
the whole
there.
time I was just like, oh man, I gotta remember this.
Well, it's not even remembering.
Yeah.
It's the pressure of being on live on a camera and having
But
it 28. It's now 28 to go back down 27. 28 degrees, and we're just throwing it at you.
Yeah, it's kind of fun getting called out. Though,
I
I'm not
think
gonna lie.
there's a lot of people, and this goes right back to the whole environment that we've created. A lot of people wouldn't even have the balls to do that. Like, no, I can't. No, I can't put myself out there like
And
that.
that's what I was thinking. It's fun to take the chances, and
That's
you know,
what this whole
and then
place
it'll be the
is.
first, and then the next time I bring the guitar, it's like, oh, we already did that.
And it's without doing that, we won't have the bass in here next time along with the guitar. And without doing the bass and the guitar, we won't have the drum set. You know, we got to build our way up
Yeah,
into that, and then eventually
absolutely.
we'll playing it right here.
Yeah, that's
As long as we get that AC going.
yeah, it's pretty hot in here.
How about a huge shout out to your beautiful wife for bringing these waters?
Yes.
Woo! Look at these things
Thank you.
sweating. They're
Yeah.
sweating.
Like that looks perfect.
Yeah, that's like a commercial water, hey?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I feel like I'm looking at. So now that you've heard a little taste of what's coming down the pipe, I hope you're as excited as we are. As we are not just creating content here anymore, we are now creating music, which is really cool. And we are also creating streams, Twitch streams. You guys ever watch Twitch? Real quick? You ever watch the Twitching?
A little bit. I did it like years ago, I think, when it first came out. I was like,
You
oh,
did
I
not
gotta-
have
I
a
gotta-
Twitch.
I do. I've got a Twitch. I think it
What?
was me making soap or something. Or no, it was me making. I used to make hats with like leather patches, and so it was
On
me stamping
Twitch?
on Twitch. Yeah.
That's so cool.
And then I
That's what
just
people don't get, because most of the time people just associate with video games, because that's where the
Right.
majority is of video games. But they have so many categories.
it can be anything,
Yeah.
right? And it was
supposed to
you
be
know,
like
it
the
was
next
one of
big
those
thing.
things like, oh, I'm going to use this all the time, and then it
Is that why
kind
you
of
built all that
fades out.
studio stuff in your place?
That was part of it.
Uncle Mike was going to
to
be an online
was-
superstar.
That's
He's
Yeah,
cool.
ready.
yeah, that's still time, I think. It's
I
just,
think you have the
I just
platform
have
now.
to- yeah, I
People
just
are
have
getting to know ya.
It's just sometimes hard, like when you're in your normal work day, and it's like, oh, now I have to set up to do this, and it takes a minute to kind
That
of plan
is-
it out and organize it, and
And it always ebbs and flows with those types of things,
Yeah.
whether it's a YouTube channel or something like where you'll put out a ton of content and then you kind of lose the momentum or life gets in the way. Was involved in one Twitch when it was a guy from a band called Unleash the Archers. They're a great band.
I've heard of them.
Yeah, they're fantastic. They're from
Crazy Kyle would love those guys.
Yeah, they're great. They're from Vancouver,
Nice.
Victoria, or whatever.
Yeah.
But when Into Eternity played, this was 2022, so it's still kind of COVID era. We played in Vancouver, and it was a festival, and they live streamed the whole festival or whatever. But that was pretty cool because Aaron was at home watching, you know. And again, that one was again to always talk about my like glitch for the show. So we were playing a 3 inches of blood. 3 inches of blood was still broken up at the time,
Okay.
and Into Eternity was covering a 3 inches of blood because we're in Vancouver and that was their hometown. So we're like, that would be super cool. But the stipulation was we wanted guitars provided for us because they play in E tuning and we play in C tuning. So we couldn't bring like all of our guitars, you know, on the airport.
work,
it,
yeah.
it would have been too much. So the day of the show, the sound check, I got a guitar. Or I'm like, okay, where's my guitar? And they're like, oh, you don't have one? And somebody like begrudgingly let me use one for the sound check. I thought I wasn't even gonna get to do that. And then the live show, someone had another one that was handed to me or whatever for the show. So Stu Block's like, all right, and Cam Pipes is gonna be coming up and singing this song with us. Cam Pipes is from 3 Inches
Yeah,
of Blood,
yeah.
and the crowd's just going wild. And then I plug in my guitar. I'm like, not a sound at all. This
boy.
is lovely. And I'm kind of, you know, trying to work it. And I thought, and like we're like about to start
Yeah,
the song,
like
and
it's
everyone's
go time.
ready.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I might just not be playing the song or whatever. And then the guy that lent me the guitar, he's like, oh, there's a kill switch button that I put in on this or whatever that you have to press. And it was like just like some hidden kill switch that I was sweet. And I guess the guy was like kind of annoyed that he had to give the guitar, so I think he probably purposely didn't tell.
Yeah.
And then when he found out what the guitar was being used for, he was like, "Oh yeah,
Kill
and
switch,
then-
kill
yeah,
switch!"
yeah, But yeah, that was my like almost like, oh my god, that would have been devastating for me because
Yeah.
3 Inches was like a
big name.
big band for me, and like getting to play it with Into Eternity.
And especially when you're doing like an homage to them, right?
yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah.
It would have been annoying being at the side stage, being like, oh, you guys did a good job.
You know, it says a lot about the music community. I remember with the 911 Turbo, it was me, Von Trask, Von Hattie, and Grandma, and we went down to do a show at the Rose and Crown, and staying in the band house in the weird room, having all the fun. And Hattie's bass guitar had just popped. Like it's this old piece. Like I'm not gonna say piece of poop because it's a great guitar, great bass guitar, but it's like had a lot of miles on it, and it wasn't working that night. So the call went out, and this was like literally like final sound check. So this was like 10 minutes before we're going on or whatever. And the call out goes, by the way, tour manager Gary, yes, I am tour manager Gary. And he's like, tour manager Gary, we don't have a guitar, bro. I'm like, okay, we're on this, and get on the mic. Real quick, does anyone around here know where we can find a bass guitar? A bass guitar for the band. And in this band, it's just a drum set, a synthesizer, and a bass guitar. So we really
Kind of
need one.
Kind of important.
Not a word of lie, boys. Within 5 minutes, someone had ran to their house and ran back with a bass guitar, and the show started on time.
Amazing.
The music community, the family, is always there for you. That's what I learned that night. It's so cool. They just put the call out, yeah, done, boom, show crushed it.
Do we have one more minute here?
Always,
Okay,
yes.
one more again for one of these. So this was early on, one of our first tours ever, and we were playing actually a show in Squamish, BC, right, between Vancouver and Whistler, and it was like on this like traditional lands. The guy that had set up the show, like had this cool like whatever makeshift stage, and there was like a generator, and there was like a huge fire or whatever. It was cool. Like the background was like all mountainous rock, and then you could see the aurora borealis. It was like
so
super
sick,
epic.
yeah.
And I'm gonna say there's like 20 people at, like, it wasn't a big show or whatever. There was a dog in the mosh pit, which was cool. But yeah, halfway through our set, somebody took the jerry can of gas and threw it on the fire or whatever. It was super cool, a big flame. Everyone's like, oh, this is cool. And then Evil Survives gets to play, and the generator's like, no. The generator is out of gas, and it was all thrown onto the fire.
I was gonna say, that's for the generator.
Yeah, so then someone had to go, to a gas station and pick up some gas to finish the show. But
Hopefully
the
it was the guy who threw it on the fire.
I don't know
I
if
guess
it was
these
or
are
not.
details
I can't
we'll never
speak
know.
to that.
That's
but-
fair. Man, how mad would you be, hey?
Yeah, I'd be pretty chill.
Yeah.
But more than anything, it was just like stupid to throw that
Right.
like on the because there's people around the fire.
Yeah, not safe.
That could've went
Super
bad.
sick and awesome at the time, but immediately probably regretted
Oh, I
it.
just-
Yeah.
Very dangerous.
I had an experience where it was actually we were houseboating on the Shuswaps,
There we
and
go.
dude, beach party, whatever, and dude walks up and puts a box of fireworks on the bonfire, and of course, it's a full box, full wrapped or whatever, so these things start shooting off everything. That was, at the time, you're sitting back, like, whoa, that's kind of cool, and then it's like, oh shit, no,
Wait a minute.
because they're sideways,
they're
upside
going.
down, triangular, whatever it was, people.
I know, the first time that we jammed with Scott Cross, our initial drummer, who was on the first few albums or whatever, and he's a farm boy, So they would put like propane tanks on the fire and shoot them with the shotguns or whatever. And I remember, I'm thinking that's already sketchy enough. Like you're, and then so they shot at it a couple times and it doesn't blow up. So it's like Scott goes to the fire and picks and like rearranges it. And I'm like, who is this guy? I'm like, man, our band is called Untimely Demise.
Yeah,
Jeez.
you're definitely testing the gods with
But
that
yeah,
one.
I learned a lot.
I don't know. The only fireworks experience that it was really sort of scary was my 30th birthday party. My 30th birthday party, I actually told this story last week, I think, because the mayor of Yorkton was there, and then that was when he had to leave when the fireworks started going off on the top of the house. But we had fireworks set up on the top of the house on 4th Street. All the people were out front on the front lawn. And the fireworks had fallen down after they were set. So instead of shooting up in the air, or I guess up in the air that way, they fell down and they were shooting right into the crowd.
Directly into the crowd.
Directly in. So as I'm sitting there talking to the mayor of Yorkton, he's saying, happy birthday, Gary. I'm saying, thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. I really appreciate it. And the fireworks start going, and one zinged right by his head. He goes, "Is that a fireworks?" Like, "Yeah, it looks like it." He's like, "I think I better go. I don't know if I
That's
should be
my
around
cue.
this
Then.
anymore."
Get out of here.
And so he left, and a couple people wore a couple. It wasn't like too crazy, but if they were like big time fireworks, it could have been
Yeah.
really serious. Like there was just like a little burn here or there. I was my 30th birthday party, and I was on the moon, so I'm like watching stuff. It's just like in the movies, hey, where like the guy will just stand there and boom, boom, stuff all around him. It's just like, if they get me, they get
Unfazed.
me.
Yeah.
Guess I'll just go for it. So that fireworks. We just had that 4th of July. Fireworks are dangerous, and dogs hate them. Poor puppies.
Oh.
But they're so sweet. It's a real love-hate relationship with fireworks, I think.
Yep. Yep.
I think we'll have to leave it at that. Is everyone ready? You guys warm up your fingers? You guys all ready to tickle the ivories? You get your props ready? Phenom, what do you say? You
boy.
want to party us out of here? All right, guys. The piano has begun. I'm so excited to see where this goes. Oh, thank you to LB who was here earlier telling us about Coliseum Presents. They got another movie going on tomorrow night. Very exciting. Fight Club. They do movies at the Roxy and at the Broadway Theater. So be sure to check that out. To the Phenom for stopping by and hitting us up on the ones and twos.
Definitely outplay me today.
Thank you, Phenom. Oh, to Aaron, thank you for being so amazing all the time. The new song is absolutely incredible. Oh, you can check it out. YouTube, Spotify is everywhere you find your music. Bring Her the Storm, just so badass. I absolutely love it. To Uncle Mike and his all natural products. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
You're definitely like the crooner.
Yeah.
If you could croon on piano.
Classically trained.
That's the one. You're classically trained.
Not trained at all.
Edward Fingerhands over here going on.
Dog fingers.
Dog! I thought they were just like extends for his finger.
No, those
How
are
are you gonna
legit hot dogs.
How are you going to top this? Put some buns in them. Yeah, get some buns going. Wow. I've never seen a better piano performance in my life. Oh, you guys. Well, thank you again to everyone involved. Whew, we'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow is Wednesday. So we'll have our author, Adrian Balarjan, in from Australia. We'll see how he's doing. Oh, man. Yeah. This is it. You know, I always feel like I should talk. Then I always realize I don't need to talk because those wieners are doing all the talking.
They talk for themselves.
All right, we'll be back tomorrow. We'll miss you so much. Remember, karma is very, very real. Just do good things, and you'll notice they'll start happening to you, and that's how we're going to make this world a better place, because we need a better world, I guess you could say. So let's all do that together, all right? Have a great rest of your Tuesday. Take care.